I'm going to lay out some things to be mindful of that I do believe are very strong signs that we need to consider that this is not what God wants for you. So, number one is when the person pulls you away from God rather than closer to God. So why would God want us or co-sign us being with someone that pulls us further away from him? Now, some of y'all might be saying, of course, this is common sense, but stop right there. Because I've seen this play out so many times. I've seen people even try to claim that God's hands are on a relationship when they're dealing with someone who pulls them away from God, who pulls them away from the principles God has tried to instill in them, who pulls them away from their values and their beliefs. Again, now listen, let me make something clear. Nobody's perfect, all right? And sometimes our drifting from God is not the fault of the person that we're dealing with, all right? So we have to understand that there's going to be some variations in how this whole thing is viewed. However, there are cases where this individual is clearly not walking the path God wants you to be walking on, and is clearly pulling you more away from God. Or if not actively pulling you, undermining you, undercutting your efforts to connect with God, not respecting your walk with God. Again, why would God want this person for you? Matter of fact, I just had someone recently say they were dealing with a guy who was verbally abusive, very toxic relationship in a lot of different ways. And she said, well, she figured that this is what God wanted for her, because when she prayed and asked God to remove this person if he's not for her, this man never went away, all right? And this is why I tell people, you are now putting it on God to remove this person. Understand that everyone has free will. And we have to ask God what we need to do in that situation, not just simply do it for us, especially when we're talking about other people being in our lives. Now, I'm not saying no one has ever been removed by the grace of God. But what I'm saying to you is that if God forbid, like in this situation, this person does not go away, you will now assume, well, this must be what God wants. And she ignored the fact that he was toxic. She ignored the fact that he essentially pulled her away from God. She ignored all the things that went against what God would want for her or any child of his. Why? Because when she prayed, this man still remained in her life. So it's extremely important that you, one, understand and start to evaluate, does this person help me cultivate my relationship with God, or does this person undermine my relationship with God? If they undermine it, then no. The only exception to that is, and I'll say this will apply to everything I'm about to list in this video. Sometimes it's a matter of it's not time to be with them, all right? So even if you believe that this person is the person that God wants you to be with, let's just say even you've prayed about it and you feel in your spirit, this is it. But this person is still behaving in these toxic ways, undermining your faith. They have not grown yet. That means it's not time yet. And we'll dig into that a little bit more. But the bottom line is you got to pay attention to when they're pulling you away or undermining a relationship versus helping cultivate and push you towards God. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there.